Hello everyone, and welcome back to Prestige Reef. That's right, the response from you guys was so epic I decided to pick that name and run with it. Some of you suggested that I change the channel's name to Mr. Saltwater Tank, M-I-S-T-E-R. I can't imagine anyone would have a problem with that, right? Maybe there's this one guy, and I love his channel, so I certainly wouldn't want to upset him. I'd like to once again thank you all for your support. I read every single message in the comment section, and it's incredibly humbling to realise how many people I've helped over the years. If you enjoy the content I create, there is something you can do for me to add that little bit of extra support. Prior to closing the channel, the subscriber count was at 22,100. As no content had been published for several months prior to that, many of you left. So if you're not a subscriber, why not smash that subscribe button to get the channel into the best condition it's ever been in. If you're already a subscriber, don't worry, you can help too. Why not click that like button? I'm a simple creature, and a metaphorical pat on the head shows me that I'm still creating the content that you love. Right, let's get on to what you've been waiting for. During the last update, you saw that I had just purchased a very dangerous combination of livestock, a regal angelfish called Lily, Rosa the boxfish, and a Dorasa clam which may earn the name Dinner. As you know, one of them was a nightmare, and I can now reveal that it was the boxfish that went rogue. The regal lived up to her name, and to this day is still a little angel. The clam, however, wasn't on the menu. It would appear that for this type of boxfish, acans are a delicacy, and although she didn't destroy any of them completely, 6 months later, some of them are still recovering. Fortunately, boxfish aren't the fastest, most agile swimmers, therefore she was pretty easy to catch, and has been relocated to a fish-only system. For those of you that are worried about how Pablo's taken the breakup, don't be. They had literally no interest in each other, and he told me privately that she looked nothing like her Tinder profile. He's more of a wrasse man anyway. Slightly off topic, but for this video I actually set up that Tinder profile, and 24 hours later I checked back in to find Rosa had over 100 matches. How desperate is my gender becoming? I feel sorry for any actual women that are on there. While on the topic of rogue fish, who remembers Rogue One, the lone surviving Banggai cardinal from a batch just over a year ago? All his siblings were in a safe location in my sump, but looking for adventure, he managed to escape and went to live next to the blades of my Ecotech Vectra L1 return pump. For reasons I still don't know today, all of his siblings died, while he thrived. A year on, he's become somewhat of a store mascot and lives in one of the coral trays at Reef Aquatics in Bognor Regis. One day, when he's the right size, it will be nice to pair him up and breed from him, but until that time comes, he's happy living the bachelor lifestyle. I know you coral junkies haven't had any news for a while. Around 5 months ago, I purchased 3 new frags from a UK online retailer, Fisherman's Frags, which were 2 different types of Acropora and a Cephastria decada. These have all settled in well, and although the Acropora have based out nicely, I find their vertical growth is incredibly slow compared to some of my other SPS. Speaking of rapidly growing SPS, I removed my pink and limeberry hystrix as they were growing large and unruly. This was ruining the visual effect I wanted of having 3 individual coral islands. Previously, many of you were interested in what would happen when they met. Perhaps, like me, you were visualizing a beautiful coral bridge. Unfortunately, it didn't quite work like that, and although they didn't kill each other, the growth pattern as they intertwined turned into an ugly mess, and some of the places where they had grown over each other became shaded and died. Once removed, I decided to replace them with some much slower growing Acropora, one of which was a deep water variety. This one had to be very slowly acclimated over a course of several months to adjust it to higher light levels. It is a common misconception that deep water acros only tolerate very low light. This was easy for me to do. The lights I use are 3 Aqua Illumination Hydra 52 HDs, and one of the best things about them is their setting to acclimate corals. It literally takes seconds to reduce the intensity, which will then gradually increase over the course of a set time period. In addition to that, it's even better to have a device which can accurately measure how intense the lights are. Our eyes find it impossible to accurately judge light spectrum, so I prefer not to leave it to chance. I use the light meter on a Senai monitor to do this. A light meter is an often overlooked piece of equipment, so if you think about light in the same way you think about salinity, you wouldn't be trying to mix a specific salinity without a refractometer. You could easily get it too high or too low, which would have a negative impact on the tank. Light is no different. You can easily kill coral if your lights are set incorrectly, and you are far more likely to kill something if they are set too high than too low. Corals can survive with inadequate light for months, whereas they can bleach within hours when they feel they are being cooked. price is often the biggest argument not to get a light meter, but if you think about it, the price of one is negligible in comparison to the cost of the livestock in many of our tanks. That's it for today, guys. My next video won't be another update, as I'm going to one of my favourite local fish shops and it's well worth you guys seeing it. After that I will continue with the updates, although the next one is a sad one as I had to euthanize one of my favourite fish. I still need to think of a cool outro for these videos, like keep those nitrates low or know your tank personality. But until then, have a good week and I'll see you next time.